Kalinga Black Tigers.
Yes. Yeah, Kalinga to Kalinga hai. This is our. But the black tiger is. I'm fascinated by wildlife and tiger and photography. Tigers especially. Channa Daswate from Sri Lanka, who is the protege of the legend Jeffrey Bawa, who did a full survey, both historically, architecturally, of the palace, and then the architect and the intact, which specializes in restoring and stuff like that. Speaking to this little girl who I asked, I said, हरियाणा वगैरह से सब बड़े होते हैं, तो हमें तो इतने बड़ो नो किमती तो मैं मैनेज कर चुका. She said, आगे मु छोटो अच्छी तो गली की पड़ा है.
Favorite musician?
Oh Lord, that's again a very difficult one. Buddy guy, Nusrat.
Okay.
Ajit.
Something is like
Kishore.
your fitness secret.
Keeping your muscles active, keeping on building on them. As you get older, you lose muscle. So in my opinion, eat right, do something, some activity every day.
A dish from Odisha that you like?
Pokhar bhata.
Pokhar bhata, right?
And manso. Jholo. I love, these are the two animals I really love. Art is actually, art changes the energy of a room.
Welcome to Orissapost Live's another podcast where we bring you interesting personalities, pioneers, trendsetters, in this case today, game changers. Game changers. Now you might be wondering why the word game changers, what's game doing over here? Kalinga Black Tigers, the owner of Kalinga Black Tigers, India's first rugby premier leagues, Odisha's first rugby club. We have the owner, Mr. Karanpal Singh. And without wasting any time, because obviously, why would you like to listen from me when you can have conversation with him? Let's move on to him and have this beautiful conversation that waits. Hello, sir. Welcome to our show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lovely having you here, and the fact that you're bringing rugby to the state, in a way, to the state. But now, it's great that you brought a rugby club to our state. Club, calling it club would be fine, right?
Yeah,
club
yes,
is fine, right?
yes,
Club
yes,
is fine,
yes.
So you brought the rugby club to the state of Odisha.
Yeah.
Why Odisha? I mean, what does the state represent for you? Like, why Odisha?
I'm from Orissa, so
Okay.
I'm bringing it back to my state. We're a Sikh family, but we moved in the partition from Burma to Calcutta to Orissa, and my family's been here ever since that. I'm born and brought up here. Schooling is here, college is here. I'm more Odia than I'm Punjabi for sure.
That's
So
the
this
reason.
is my state.
That's your state. That's
Yeah.
lovely.
So when the we've been part of rugby for a while. In 2022, through a dear friend, I got to know that the women's rugby team had a large contingent from Odisha, women's especially.
Yes.
And first is I was a little intrigued. Women's luck and Odisha, I would have thought rugby is a very Punjab, Haryana kind of sport. And then we supported the women's team, really liked it, really enjoyed, and a lot of the players were from sort of rural parts of India, places with a lot of tribal people, youngsters. So it was a great experience. They went and won the silver in the Asia Sevens, which is actually
Huge feat.
quite interesting.
Yeah.
In fact, the women's team has done better than the men's team. The
Yes,
women's rugby team of
yes.
India. On many fronts, I think women are a lot more hardworking and than we are. But so that's how it started. We've been part of it. And when this opportunity came up, they offered me a team, and they offered us a team, and then we were to choose which region that team was for.
Yes.
And it's not a difficult choice. It had to be Orissa.
Had to be Orissa. But now you just said the word they offered me.
Yeah.
They who?
So this was the Rugby Association of India
Yeah.
decided to do the rugby league in India, and they were then they obviously then started the process of the franchises and the franchisees of choosing the franchisees of India, and that's when we got to know about it. Since we were part of rugby, since we were in the system, we were lucky to get to know about it, and I'm very happy that we have one.
Now, you just said the personal angle of you.
Yeah.
Now, you said you grew up in Odisha, Bhubaneswar. We'll talk about that later on.
Yeah.
But now, the thing that I can say, we both grew up in Odisha.
Yes.
We have won this connection over here. And we know one thing. You see football, you see sometimes volleyball, and if it's winter, you see badminton.
Yeah.
And let's not forget the elephant in the room, cricket.
Yeah.
Always.
I tell you. Too much of that in this country.
Again.
I said too much of that. I don't mean it like that. But I think we need to get a lot more sports.
Yes.
We're the youngest country in the world. You can't be running after cricket.
But there are so many sports. Rugby. Is it only because of a personal angle, or there's something more to that?
Well, actually, honestly, I got into this because I met these little girls from my area in Kyonchar that got into, we do some work there, and I got into rugby. And I'll give you a little anecdote. I was speaking to this little girl who I asked. I said, हरियाणा वगैरह से सब बड़े होते हैं, तमें तो इतने बड़ो नो किमती तमें मैनेज करछो. So she said, आगे मु छोटो अच्छी तो गली की पढ़ाए तारी तरह. So little things,
Yes.
little things, and I thought, everybody is going towards cricket and football. Might as well find something different, add a little bit more value outside of what others are already doing. And I enjoyed the sport. Have you seen a match ever?
I have seen, but
It's very fast. It's
very fast, very fast.
Uh,
But I've
and-
seen from a very ignorant point of view. Very ignorant point of view, because the moment when I have seen a rugby match, it was more like I'm seeing guys, playing around. Okay, as I'm saying that, just a thing just, popped up. Don't you think rugby is let me just rephrase it properly. Will it be right to call rugby a very violent sport?
Well, it is not. It's not violent. It's contact for sure.
Contact for sure, not violent though.
No, I don't think so. It's the way it's played might be a bit fast and aggressive and powerful, and but this is a very tough sport. You need a lot of agility and power, which is a combination that's not easy, right?
No.
And you need to be. And the best part about rugby is the team spirit that you create within the rugby. The rugby players are like warriors on the playground, right? So it's quite a nice game. It's a fun game. It doesn't need too much infrastructure. That's one thing very interesting for this game. It can be played in a garden, in a lawn, in a field, anywhere. So I think it's going to catch up. It's going to catch the fancy of the people pretty fast.
I wish that happens, because I love the concept of rugby. Now, I'm being biased over here when I say, just because it's a new thing that's coming over here.
Yeah.
Now,
Maybe why rugby also?
yeah, why rugby? Even better, why rugby? Yes.
Yeah, why rugby? I was explaining this yesterday, and I was trying to say that, in order to build a game, you need to build aspiration.
Okay.
And the youngsters follow aspiration. I aspire to become Kohli. I aspire to become Tendulkar. And that's my older one, I've got two sons. My older son played under 16 cricket. My younger one's now playing in the Delhi Premier League. So, we all play. And for them, each of them have idealized Dhoni at some point, Kohli at some point. His favorite movie is the Kapil Dev one. So that hero worship aspiration drove him to play a game.
Yeah.
And so we need to create aspirations, and in order to create aspiration, we need to create an ecosystem around it. We need to create heroes from it. So I think these leagues very important for a game to develop, because unless there is aspiration to reach, this league will bring out the sport, will bring out a few players, it'll bring out a few heroes in the sport from India, and those are the guys that the youngsters will follow, and take to the sport. And if there is kids who want to play the sport, then the schools will start creating an infrastructure for the sport. There will be training. There will be a rugby program, like you have a cricket program, a football program. All this whole ecosystem needs to grow, and in order to grow an ecosystem, the little kid there needs to first want to become a rugby player, right? So why rugby? Because there's enough done for many other sports. I love cricket. I love football. I love rugby too. And so I thought, it's something new. It's something great. And nobody's doing it. We get an opportunity. Why not?
Why not us?
Yeah.
Why not us?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, the moment you said us, talking about the team Odisha,
Yeah.
it is not team Odisha specifically, it is basically Kalinga Black Tigers.
Yes.
The proper name, Kalinga Black Tigers.
Yes.
The next question was about to be like, why
the
Kalinga?
tiger?
What is Kalinga Black Tigers? Why Kalinga Black Tigers?
Yeah, Kalinga to Kalinga hai. This is our. But the black tiger is. I'm fascinated by wildlife and tiger and photography. Tigers especially. So, and Orissa, there's something called the melanistic black tiger, which is only found in this region in the world.
Whole world.
And it's almost extinct. I think there are 10-15 tigers documented in the wild. So and that tiger here in Orissa is a symbol of strength and power and agility, and people worship it. And tigers anyway are a majestic symbol of power.
Yeah.
And I just thought we'll name it after the tigers, because the game is a bit like that. This game needs power, agility.
Robust nature.
So I just thought it would be appropriate.
I was facing basically some problems saying Black Tigers. No, often intended anyone, because watching the Marvel movie Black Panther. So every time I was saying it was coming out Kalinga Black Panther. It's Kalinga Black Tigers.
Yeah.
There's something more depth to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I thought the name was catchy also.
it's good. It's really good. It's
Yeah,
really
and
good.
listen, this doesn't need to be. Kalinga Black Tigers is now the name. It could be any team. I think we're starting with rugby.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Kalinga Black Tigers becomes synonymous with many sports.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just gonna deviate for a while. You just said Kalinga Black Tigers could be synonymous with many sports. Is there some plans?
That is the plan, yes.
Can we dwell in deeper?
Well, actually, honestly, if you ask me, I don't have anything. I believe things also grow organically. But I'm enjoying sports, I think, and I'm not only doing this out of emotion. I think it's a great business also, and I always believe that it needs to be sustainable to last longer. So I think in itself, being a young country, and this would be a great game to be watched on the screens and on the TV and in the drawing rooms, and so I think there is a great commercial opportunity also in sport coming up.
So, a lot of things can happen.
Yes. So let's see where it goes.
Okay. Now we just had conversation about the Kalinga Black Tigers. Another thing, luckily I was there when the jersey.
Yeah.
I was there. I saw this thing that happened.
Yeah.
Um I don't know the motto or the tagline or something. I have to read it from the script because I don't want to mess it
Odisha
up.
Paiko,
Odisha
Ragbiro
Paiko,
Naiko.
Ragbiro Naiko.
Yes.
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 You know what you have done over here, right?
Huh.
This Piker revolution, people don't talk about that much. People of our side, we talk about it a lot. Odia people, we
Yeah.
all guys, we
Yeah.
but bringing that to the national stage, kind of we can say international because international players will be involved over there.
Absolutely. We have 5 Olympic players. We have 2 of the world's top players. We have
In our team?
In our team. We have
Okay.
best player 18, 19. We have the best player 22. World, not Asia, not India.
Okay.
Right? These are global icons. These are the best players in the world, right? So this is international.
huge,
This
isn't
is not. This is very.
huge.
It's actually. इंडिया में अभी रग्बी इतना बड़ा नहीं है, राइट? Which is why we are not. It's not. Hopefully, it will catch on. I think it will. But these guys were here, and very good of the association to plan it at a time in which they had there was not much rugby happening globally. Otherwise, we wouldn't have got these players. But there are some really, really. There was a girl who had come and she started crying in the conference. I don't know if you noticed. And one of our volunteers went up to her and said, "Why are you crying?" She said, I never thought I'd be able to see them in person. Right? They are actually, most of them are idols of, are sort of rugby heroes.
Fantastic, man.
Yeah. So it's international for sure.
Okay, that's moving though.
Yeah.
That's moving.
Yeah.
And you know, it has not even begun. And
It's not even
already-
begun.
Not even begun.
And
The
it's,
impact.
it's already bringing emotion.
Yeah, yes, just
Yeah.
impact. So tell me now, like we had conversation about this emotional movement it has brought, but now still I haven't got this. How did you created this beautiful line? You know, Odisha Paiko, Ragbiro Naiko.
You know, we have a great bunch of youngsters as part of our team. So we actually spent some time sitting together and sort of discussing, brainstorming what should be the tagline, what it should be about. And just the Paiko thing has always fascinated me. So when we started discussing that, it really resonated with the team and the kind of sport it is. And of course, the story of the Paiko, the warrior, the Odisha warrior, it's just fascinating. So I thought, and we have got a lot of Odias in our team, by the way.
Okay.
A lot of people from Orissa. We in our tech business, we have quite a few Orissa people. And we just came up with this, and I quite enjoyed. I think we found a really nice inspiration in that warrior.
That's a beautiful.
Yeah.
I guess. But now we are building a rugby team here.
Right.
A rugby team in a land where rugby is not that much played like cricket or other sports. What are the there might be some difficulties, right?
Of course.
It's not like walk in the park kind of thing. It is obviously
of course,
difficult.
of course.
So what are those difficulties you've been through?
Number one is, I think, awareness, right?
Okay.
And aspiration, and then obviously the infrastructure, right?
Yeah.
It's what comes first, right? There will be no infrastructure unless people want to play it. And people will only want to play it if there's aspiration to the game, right? So, I think while things like the RPL is going to create aspirations and get the sport out and create awareness, I think on the other side, we need to build infrastructure. Interestingly, Orissa's got the only rugby stadium in one of the institutions here in India, purpose-built for rugby, right? And Orissa's been playing rugby for a while. The women's team, as I told you, has done really well. So, obviously the government, the policymakers, the infrastructure needs to be built, right? It needs to go into a curriculum in the school. If a kid wants to play rugby, why not?
No, why not?
I think these two need to work together to build anything, whether it's rugby or anything else. And that to me will be the biggest challenge. But I don't think Orissa is really. Orissa's been really promoting sports, understands.
That's true. Yeah.
So I think Orissa will be one of the first few leading states, regions to promote rugby. Hopefully.
Now, can I just ask how many guys are there in your team from Odisha, and how many there from? If not from Odisha, there might be a reason. And how many from what nationalities? Can you just give me some?
You mean in the team?
In the team, the playing team.
The playing team. So we have, of course, as the playing squad, we have one guy. But the extras, what we wanted to do is bring in the top 5, 6, 7 players of Orissa to practice with the international players. Okay. It changes their. I mean, they get the biggest thing. I played sport all my life. I don't look like it, but I did. You can only get better if you play with people better than you, right?
That's true. Yeah.
And they're playing on an international level. Playing with professionals is just another exposure, and it's an exposure that is parallel to nothing else, right? Actually playing the game. So we've taken, in fact, the top 5, 6 players from Odisha to Bombay where they are practicing. They're staying with the team. They will emulate. They will understand. They will learn from the team. And the international players are saying that that the players from what they were when they came to what they are now in a week.
Yes.
Is a hell and heaven difference, because those players, and I tell you, imagine the kind of players, right?
True.
One of the players quit rugby because he did not have money and he became a laborer, right?
Oh wow!
Ashish, he studied all his life in a free school. He does not have money to. He had never left Orissa. He'd not left Orissa in the last 12 years, 11 years, something like that, right? This is, and now they're in Bombay. They're playing with the international team, and these kids have a hunger that's unparalleled to the others. They're trying to fight themselves, right, and get out of there. And I've seen that these. Kids like these have really a strong, hardworking spirit, and they learn much. I mean, they have the hunger to learn.
True.
So, and it's great. Yeah.
My God.
I'm really inspired by these guys actually. When I talk to them, not only all the kids, and the fact that one of the players had to leave and go and become a laborer. In a construction site, and now has come back to play in the national level Rugby Premier League. It's such an amazing story. Hopefully this becomes a bit of a sport that people follow, and people like y'all can play the biggest role in bringing awareness to the masses.
Yeah, that's it.
The more the people play, the more the infrastructure, the more the commerce around it. The more the commerce around it, it could become a career.
So we can not assume, we can accept the fact that there are surprising talents in.
Absolutely, there are.
Filled with them.
Absolutely.
Now, the thing that you said after that we need to set up more infrastructures and things, or any place, a domain for these kind of talents to, not to be a surprising talent, but a talent just to come up anytime they want, not to become a laborer. So do you think the movement that you are bringing, I can say it's a movement that you're bringing. You already said people are getting emotional.
I'm hoping
before.
it is.
Because people are getting emotional before it starts.
Yeah.
That's a
small
plus.
or big, hopefully it is,
Yes, it is.
going to make an impact.
So when we come to the topic of impact, do you think after this or this will lead to some kind of grassroots level impact, or are you planning some kind of grassroots level
No,
impact?
absolutely we are planning. In fact, we spent this weekend with our coach talking about how we can work on the grassroots level to find talent for the next coming matches, right? We have been talking about how Kalinga Black Tigers should become a club, for lack of a better word, locally to play, because, and listen, they all feed out of each other. The more people that watch this, the more it's valuable, the more it's commercially better, and the more money can then go back into the team. I mean, listen, I've always said that there has to be a certain sustainability. One is CSR, yes, and we do that, but beyond that, it has to be self-sustaining. And so, in order to do that, the local infrastructure needs to be formed. And when I say infrastructure, it's not necessarily a stadium. Infrastructure in terms of awareness, infrastructure in terms of aspiration, and the schools, the colleges, the local sports bodies should probably at least give an option to play rugby, right? And some people might play, and that's how you find talent.
You have played rugby, right?
Not really. I played rugby for fun.
For fun, like how was that experience?
Well, it was, when we would play something in our schools, we'd play rugby as a fun sport, as a warm up, or as something like that. But I've not played rugby.
Not in a serious way.
Not on a serious way, no.
Recess, rugby.
No. In fact, I swam for my state.
Oh my God.
I played billiards and snookers, and I was a national player. I represented the state for 5 years, and we, in 1997, I think 97, we would write to the World Association of Billiards. We wanted to host the World Billiards in Odisha. I don't know if you know that in 1997, we hosted the World Billiards Championship in Orissa in 1997. We were all young kids. We got together and we organized this event. We had support from a lot of our seniors and friends. We were the markers. We were the organizers. I went and received most of the players. 99% of them didn't know what Odisha was, let alone, And so sports has been in that, we've been very interested in sports for a long time. It's
part
not
of your
something
DNA.
new.
Part of your DNA, right?
Well, listen, 1997,
1997.
we organized the World Billiards
In Odisha.
in Odisha.
Yes.
The English player Mark Russell, he went on to win many more tournaments. The Geet Sethi's, the Michael Ferreras, everybody, all the world's top players came and stayed in Odisha. It happened at the Trident. They stayed at the Trident. It happened at Nalco.
Oh.
Nalco was the sponsor.
Lovely.
Yeah,
Lovely.
yeah. And if you see the final matches, I'm sitting there doing the marking.
Do you have pictures that you can share with me? I'll be glad
Well,
to
I
have
don't.
them.
It's interesting. I don't have the picture. You've reminded
come
me
on.
of something, but we should look for pictures
If you
out
ever
of that.
find that, you
Yeah, I
know who
will.
to call.
100%. I will.
Now, as long as we're talking about players, how is the team forming?
Very good. I'm actually really excited because they've really come together as a team, right? In fact, we had taken them off for the weekend to Rambha. We have a hospitality business
Rambha.
there. Rambha Palace. I don't know
Rambha
if you've
Palace,
heard.
yes.
I told them Odisha chalte hain. We wanted them to come here and see And there is a story, and I might not get it right, is why I'm not telling you the story. But the story is that I think 25, 30 years back, one of the first places that rugby started was in Orissa, right?
Yes,
It's one of the oldest rugby local associations of India, within India. Anyway, so we wanted to get the players to Orissa to connect with their home, area. So they are the home team of Orissa, really. So they came here, they met the people, very overwhelmed with how people received them. Our coach, who's one of the world's best coaches, Mike Friday. Mike, in fact, coached the women's team in 2017 or 2016, and 5 of those girls were from Odisha, like I told you. So when he came here, these girls who are now 8, 9 years older and working, somebody's working in, somebody's got a government job, somebody's working in a private, someone was working in a bank. They came and received him with 30, 40 other girls, rugby players. So this is a team sport. You need to get along with each other. That's most important. And I think we're lucky that the whole team is very, very, they're getting along with each other very well. And hopefully that will play out in the field.
Hopefully it does.
Yeah, you have to keep trying. The rest is left to nature.
Anyway, but I guess if the whole team is focused on one thing and all are working their part, you eventually will reach there.
Absolutely. The best part is they're enjoying.
Enjoying it, yeah. The process is fun.
Yeah. It's always the process.
Always the process. There is a saying, I might not be able to say it properly. I have learned it from another place I've heard, from an interview, from a podcast somewhere earlier. I've heard it from a special force operative. He said this: "Karm wo karo jo karna hi phal lage." Do the work in such a way the outcome is not what you're looking for. The process itself,
of course,
which shows in your teams, the way you said, the way when I met them. To the audiences watching this, when the jersey inauguration was there, we were there, our team were there, we saw the movements and all, and if one of the team player was going over there on the stage, and somewhere from they're from pan-national, international players and everyone, everybody was passing comments to their teammates, they're having fun, and they were having a gala time. That actually showed that, I feel like this team is just right now, it's just now, and they behave like they know each other for a long time.
They've come together very well, and I tell you, Mike, the coach, also has been spending a lot of time with the teams doing bonding exercises. He's saying that these are the best players in the world. There's nothing I can teach them that they don't already know. They just need to do it well with each other, right? They need to work with each other. And that's what he's been doing. In fact, when he realized that the players were they're from cold countries. So when they play this is summer, it's thick of summer.
Hot and humid.
Yeah, and humid, right? So he's been telling the teams that if you're tired, don't go. But spend time with each other, right? So while it's a lot about practice and getting acclimatized, it's also about camaraderie between the teams, right? So I think we've got a great bunch of kids, youngsters doing this.
Now we will be slightly shifting our theme of the conversation.
Right.
Now, the rugby thing is new. It is new.
Yeah.
But you are known more of a businessman, an entrepreneur, and a thing that has popped up so many times while we were, doing some research on you. We were thinking about coming up with everything. The word founder has popped up 19 times.
The word founder?
Yeah. 19 times. And
really?
Yes. And now the thing is that the one thing that I would like to talk about first is the Hunch Ventures.
Right.
It is associated with this beautiful team we have. So, what inspired you to start Hunch Ventures?
So Hunch is a family office of ours. It's a investment fund, family office, as you would like to call it, whatever you would like to call it. But it is the platform that we use to invest into new and upcoming businesses, old businesses, and wait, the name Hunch is because there's not other much, you know. It has to you have to have instinct, right?
You have to have a hunch.
Yeah, you
You
have to have a hunch.
Yeah.
So Hunch is an investment company. Hunch doesn't necessarily operate anything, but Hunch partners with necessary good entrepreneurs, businessmen, founders, and supports them on different levels. Like, I think a founder needs money is one of the least amount of things that he needs in the beginning journeys of his business. He needs hand-holding, network. He needs support, moral support. So Hunch is a good partner in many of its businesses, and so the founder word that you keep hearing is me joining as a co-founder or Hunch joining as a co-founder.
Okay.
And we have a lot of, like I told you, we have a huge young team of youngsters that then get into the system, roll up their sleeves and get into the trenches with the entrepreneurs to build businesses. Some do well, some don't, but we at least try our best.
Lovely. Now,
Hunch also runs one of sorry.
No, it's completely
We started a tech incubator
Oh, wow.
in Delhi, and it's one of the largest tech incubators in the country now. Tech incubator come sort of a working space. I don't want to call it a co-working space, though it is, I mean, technically. But
Why do I say
it's more about a community office space that inspires through being a community. Different
Like
entrepreneurs.
oneness. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah,
I
so
asked.
it's called the Circle. It's in Delhi, and a lot of these companies have either moved into the Circle or have grown out of the Circle, and so Hunch partners with the right founders.
Okay, now we talked about Hunch, and previously you said that you took the players to Rambha Palace.
Yeah.
Now you own the Rambha Palace,
Well, Rambha Palace is owned by the royal family.
the royal family.
We've partnered, leased with it out from them, and now we have the Rambha Palace is our property
Rambha Palace is your property.
that we've restored, hopefully to its original glory, if not better. Yeah, actually, let me go back a step and tell you what Rambha Palace was. Rambha Palace was built by the erstwhile collector of the Madras presidency that came till here.
Oh, okay.
His name was Lord Nodgrass, who built this as his home for the winters on the Chilka Lake. So it's more a chateau or a English sort of building than it's one of those palaces that you think in India you see. So restoring it did not need gold plating. It just needed right aesthetics and right. We in fact didn't use cement. It's totally made with lime plaster. With the help of Intac, who came here, did a whole research on this palace 220-30 years back, how it was built, what was built, and we in fact replicated a lot of the processes. For example, the lime plaster has a mix of certain herbs and gur and all that stuff because it's a natural anti-repellent. It's an insect repellent, right? So small things like that. This is all part of. These are historical methods that we've forgotten.
The fact that it uses herbs and
Yeah,
jaggery
you
wood,
know,
whatever,
that-
for the
Yeah,
construction, is not
listen,
that
I
big
might
deal.
get the technical stuff wrong,
No.
but I'm trying to tell you how deep we went into it.
The big deal. Where did you find these people
Intact.
who still knows this kind of thing?
Yeah, listen, I tell you, Orissa, interesting. We wanted to bring get some of the old um, textiles of Orissa,
Okay.
right? And we hired this really. In fact, let me to start with, the architect who made this palace is who the architect that we had on this project is somebody called Channa Daswate from Sri Lanka, who is the protege of the legend Jeffrey Bawa. And he, I mean, I think he's more an artist than he is a architect. He came here, spent months just envisioning what would come out of it. And then we went to Intac, who did a full survey, both historically, architecturally, of the palace, and then the architect and the Intac, which specializes in restoring and stuff like that, then worked together in putting this together. It's not easy,
It's not.
but what's come out of it is great.
The fact
The
that
journey was, we were talking about it, no?
Yes.
Journey is
the journey is the fun
sometimes
part.
better than the destination.
Yes. Fantastic, man. Fantastic. So, it's fine. Like, if I can get this idea that you're trying to also, expand the Odisha tourism through one way or the other.
Yeah, if I can, I think if we can, even to a very small percentage level, change the perception, give it or give not. Let's not say change. I'm saying if we can add the premium, Orissa has enough there, right? If we can add a layer to that perception of Orissa, why not? I mean, I think Rambha Palace is very well received. Condé Nast voted us as the top 5 heritage hotels last year. People all over the country know about Rambha Palace now, and hopefully it's a start of. We have quite a few others actually. The Belgadia Palace is well known.
Beautiful.
Yeah, have you been there? Have you seen?
I have seen pictures though.
You must
I haven't been there.
So there is enough. India is traveling now. The younger generation they don't book hotel rooms. They book experiences, right? I think there's going to be there's enough and more to do in the state, and the government also has been talking about a lot of infrastructure around tourism. Roads are great. Orissa roads have been always excellent. I think Rambha Palace has made its contribution to that.
Fantastic, man, fantastic. But now,
and Chilka Lake is by itself. Sorry, since we talk about sports, why shouldn't Chilka Lake be a sailing destination?
Why not?
It's one of the most beautiful, lakes, large. Rambha hopefully is going to become also start promoting a little bit of sailing in that lake. I love sailing. I enjoy that as a sport.
Indian, right?
Yeah.
Sports Indian.
So, Orissa has a lot of potential.
A lot of potential, yeah.
And we have a great young, vibrant population also now. I see a lot of. There's a young group of bikers who came yesterday to meet the team.
Oh wow!
30 bikes, I think, super bikes from all over, and these are young kids who enjoy. They've created a group. All of them came to Rambha yesterday. Had breakfast with the team, and went back. So this is by no means. Right? Orissa is by no means a state that is not moving forward parallelly with others.
Good. The more you talk about this thing, it just realizes that rugby has already started its impact, even if it's not begun. But now, I'll just go back towards more core of your business aspect. Your name is also synonym with mining sector, the KJS Ahluwalia Group. Where do you see the mining sector going forward?
Listen, I would like to stick to sports, but but listen, it's this state is a state is a significant state in that industry, right? I wouldn't say mining, but steel, and it's a big employer. It's a big revenue generator. I think sustainably done, it's actually a great thing. I think, and the government's making all the right moves. The world is going towards more sustainable practices. I see a great future in that's really the state's one of state's assets, riches of the state.
The mining industry, right?
Not the mining industry only, but what comes around it. It's revenue, jobs, industry. You need all that for a state.
Yes.
While sports builds the softer parts of a place, of a region, this is the heart. You need both. Well balanced though.
Well balanced. Your international expansion strategies are there.
Yeah.
Right now, can you talk about which countries and what kind of experiences that you go through?
Well, we do quite a few international businesses, and I'll talk about a few of them. For example, we started one of the first legal tech, AI-based legal tech companies in the country, right? Which is doing really well now. In fact, if you Cred, Airbnb, when you sign a contract in these companies, it's at the back end. Yes. The processing, the signing, the legal tech that's happening is done by our company called SpotDraft.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that was a US company. In fact, we started it in the Bay Area, but now we brought it into India, and it's now an Indian company working in the US. It's not a US company working in India. So, internationally, we've been doing a lot of work with a lot of these tech entrepreneurs. Most of them of Indian origin. A lot of them of Indian origin. We have another medical legal tech company now that's doing really well, who might come to Orissa actually in the next couple of months. We're setting up a unit here, based out of the US again. We have some infrastructure companies out of I have an infrastructure business which is listed in London, in the London Stock Exchange. Beautiful. So there's a lot of international exposure, but all businesses have a very, very serious India angle. And this is while now we're working with global companies all over the world, but these are essentially Indian companies by Indian founders that we've invested in globally. So lots of exciting stuff that's happening all over.
Now, before also you said that how investing helps the investors in a way, the young investors, the young entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Like what will you define is the success for a startup? That you invest in.
It's a larger conversation, but I think startups is just, it's nomenclature for culture. Okay. Startup is a culture. It's not an entity, right? So startup means you're nimble, you're ready to innovate, you're ready to adapt, you're ready to evolve. It's startup culture, right?
Culture.
So what we really need to to encourage is that culture. So to me, I mean, is Zomato a startup today? It's not a startup.
no
right?
longer.
It was
No
a
longer.
startup. It's now a. So to me, a startup is actually a company in its initial phases of business and growth, and it's a culture really. It's a culture to be able to adapt to the business environment. And I tell you, India is probably today, even if you go to the Valley, to San Francisco, to that Bay Area, there, India is the dominant people with Indian origin are the dominant players in the startup ecosystem. So I think I can't answer what a startup is, but hopefully I've been able to explain what I think a startup means.
Now, the another side of the startup is the investors. Being one of you being one of the investors, what do you look in a successful startup? Let's say the startup is, because we talked about what is a successful startup, that's a huge topic. Now, what do you find in a successful business that you expect the person who's bringing the prospect should have at least these qualities for a proper investment?
It's
You
always
said nimble on those kind of, but I'm talking
it's
about
always
a
the
person.
person. It's always the person behind the startup.
Always the person.
Always. Listen, businesses today can change overnight,
Yes.
right? It can pivot 360 degrees immediately, right? It can, unless the founder is somebody who can, the entrepreneur is somebody who can adapt and evolve quickly. You can't run a business today, right? So, and integrity, of course, is the most important thing. So we invest in people. We don't invest. I mean, of course, it has to be in a sector, in an industry, but we invest in people.
Culture and people.
Absolutely.
Culture and people.
And culture trickles from the top, boss.
That's the top one.
Always.
First culture, then the person.
No. I'm saying culture in an organization trickles from the top.
Okay.
The owner, the manager, the management, the ownership, the leaders. That is the culture an organization evolves into, emulates.
Oh.
So it's very important to see the culture of a person because that's how the organization is going to then evolve into.
Now, as long as we're talking about this and the Indian startup culture and all these things, so what part of the Indian startup culture, the Indian startup culture that excites you? The part of it. Which part of Indian startup culture?
The fact, listen, I keep saying this. Ek to, it is the youngest. India has the smartest brains in the world, right? If you really see, there cannot be any business, especially around innovation, around technology, around sort of any form of innovation that's happening, even pharmaceuticals. Anywhere you see, there is a large Indian contingent in there, right?
Yes.
What excites me is, back in the day, we created a lot of, for lack of a better word, we created a lot of employees, right? I think now we are creating a lot of employers, right? It's a very big difference. Where
It is indeed.
Kids are ready to take that plunge. We had at some portion of our belief system was not ready to take a risk, not ready to take that leap of faith. And we would end up taking a job, joining the government, X, Y, Z. But the kids now are ready to explore. I think the most exciting part is how the whole ecosystem is developing into risk taking. But if you can't take a risk, you can't risk. We need to reward risk actually. Risk is not to be frowned upon. Failure is not to be frowned upon.
This is something that's very important. That risk and failure should not be frowned upon.
I think we need to find systems in this country to be able to allow people to fail without having to worry about it.
Because even I believe that we make failure look like the death, its end.
That's why we didn't have entrepreneurship back in the day. अब वो change हो रहा है.
Okay.
That to me is the most exciting part.
That is the exciting part. That
The most exciting part.
the fear of
in which
failure is slowly
youngsters
going
don't. My EA who's recently joined me was one of the. She started a AI climate tech company, one of the first climate tech companies in India, really well, but at some point lost interest because of whatever internally, and in fact went off to the Everest base camp for a year, was in the hills, came back, returned the money to all her investors. I was one of them. And then she said, I want to do a job for some time. And I said, come and join me. So now she's joined me as my tech EA. And that's a youngster. We couldn't have done that. That's the most exciting part, the way these kids are thinking.
always at the edge.
No, not at the edge.
Not at that like emotionally edge. Like they're willing to be in the edge of the blood and
They don't have a problem. Okay, I
willing to
failed.
jump, will jump it.
I failed.
Will
It's
do
no
it.
big deal.
Yeah.
Life goes on.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, amazing.
Amazing, amazing. Talking about the young ones like you, me, and all the team who is over here with us.
Yeah.
What are your advice for these young entrepreneurs if they're looking for a proper,
Listen, if you don't,
investment?
if you haven't failed, then you're going to fail. It's better you do it now than later in life. You have to try.
Sooner the better.
No, I mean you don't walk it. You don't have no risk, no gain. I mean, I don't mean it like that. You must, but I'm saying as a youngster, you have to go out and do it instead of procrastinating, thinking about it. And that would be my only advice. That don't waste your time on this.
Mobile,
Yeah,
smartphones,
yeah,
making you on smart.
yeah. Chat GPT is here to help you. It's not. You're not to help it.
Yeah, exactly. Can you tell me what are your views on ChatGPT? Everyone is using ChatGPT.
Listen,
nowadays.
I've started using it recently. We have done extensive training in our organization on AI, right from the local accountant to the CEOs. How to use AI. AI is an enabler. It's not the product.
Yes,
Right?
exactly, yes.
So AI is here to help you achieve your answer. It's not the answer itself. So the question you ask is what you put in is what you get out. So asking itself is very important to ask the right question to get the right answer.
You actually need to know what you're asking, basically.
100%. It's
If
about
you're not sure about yourself, it's gone.
no, because she's answering what you are asking, and you have to learn how to ask it. I've recently made a whole presentation on ChatGPT. We spoke to it for maybe an hour and a half, and it built a whole simulated design for us. And this was something that we did as a pilot. This AI fellow who's joined us, this lady, she went to the US, she went to Yale and studied this, right? And she was showing how we can build something, how to use AI, and we built a whole presentation on ChatGPT. So it works. It's interesting.
Only if you know how.
Yeah. No, not for my son who does his homework on it. But it is reality. But the problem is we are overusing that term. AI doesn't know what to do unless you ask it to do it, right? Yeah. And then next time it might learn from it, and you might not have to say it again. You can keep adding to it.
It syncs with you, kind of.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe, for lack of a
Even
better way to say it.
what I am saying is completely out of my speculations, not from any scientific backing.
Huh. No, Leila, I'm very bad at tech. Logic.
Two of us.
But listen, tech is designed to make our life easier.
Yeah.
Tech is not the product. It's making something easier to access or use, or it's an enabler. It's not.
The outcome, the product. Now, if we go back to Hunch Venture, the way our whole conversation began on this business, where do we see Hunch Venture 5 years?
Yeah, interesting. Honestly, Hunch started off as a fund, but I think we are a little bit more than a fund. We are not only just a passive investor who sits on the board meetings and tries to give gyan. So we are more entrenched, like I said, or in the trenches with the founder. What I want Hunch to become a more impactful investor, and hopefully, even today, a lot of people say that if you get between the youngsters, Hunch is, thanks to our teams that we have. There's a lot of people say that this is one of the best investors you can get, because they guide you, they suggest, they don't necessarily bulldoze you into doing things that you don't want to do. I just want, I think Hunch should be able to add a lot more impact like it has done back in the day. I'd be happy with that.
Now we have been talking about rugby and business.
Interestingly, we were talking about rugby. Huh?
Interestingly, we were talking about rugby. Now, we'll be taking another trajectory over here. We'd like to know the man behind all this. Your childhood. You said about Odisha, Bhubaneswar, your schooling.
Yeah.
Can you share something on that?
Well, I'm born and brought up in Orissa. Did my schooling here.
Which school?
I did DAV.
Which DAV?
Unit 8. I'm from DAV.
Unit 8 too?
Really? Are you from Israel?
You were senior.
Yeah. Not very, but DAV, and then I went to BJP.
BJP,
I was obviously more in the canteen than I was in the class.
Same here.
And
towards the end of the banyan tree.
Yeah,
over
absolutely.
There. Yes. I've been.
And born and brought up here. Everything, and then I used to play billiards. I told you, in the national circuit.
1997.
In one of my tournaments in Bangalore, I just decided not to come back. Took a job there. Late 90s, and that's it. I've been traveling ever since. I keep coming businesses here. This is home, but I've spent a lot of time all over now, and businesses here. So I'm here at least 2-3 days a week, every week, if not every week, every second week for sure.
Is there any specific memory from your school that you can share?
Too many.
Too many. It's a beautiful school.
But since we are talking about sports, I cannot. I must say, today when I think about us pulling off the World Billiards in 1997 here, I'm really proud of our whole bunch. We were a young bunch of friends who played billiards and snookers. I mean, you don't think of billiards and snookers in Odisha in 1997. And then we organized.
International event.
No, we also organized the national. First, we organized the national All India Billiards here. At the Bhubaneswar Club. And then we said, why not, pardon my language, why not international?
Why not?
And then we applied for that. And anyways, we have a friend of ours who's quite persistent I'm not that persistent. And she kept writing to them. And then they finally said, yes, we'll do it. And that's it. We organized the World Billiards here. Tournament. I think that drive might That's the drive that I see in the youngsters nowadays, and I love that.
Now,
My most exciting memory, since we are talking about sport, that would be it.
this one, right?
Yeah.
From DAV.
No, this an international tournament
Indeed,
we
but I was
organized.
asking for DAV. Is there anything that you can share about DAV? Because it is very personal for me too. Because my memory from DAV are the
Yeah,
best ones.
for me, DAV used to be me cycling from here to DAV, right?
Oh.
I used to have one of those fancy नए gear वाले cycles आए थे.
Ah.
Um, and and maybe okay, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I think it was class 8. At class 8, I thought I could stand for election. My teachers, oh God. Anyways, I stood for elections. I don't think people thought I could lead, at least on a intellectual level. But my teachers, I did pretty decently in my report card,
Okay.
right? But I was a bit of I was not the most liked by my teachers to be in the class. They loved me.
The naughty ones.
But my maths teacher would walk into the class and say, Karanpal, if you don't have anything to add, please leave the class.
That's something DAV Unit teachers knew very well. If that guy is a problem,
No, but they loved me.
that's good. They were good people.
I'm still in touch with a lot of my teachers.
Wow.
And my Hindi teacher used to say, you're the most regularly irregular student in the class. But as far as you get good results,
They're fine by it.
yeah. And I was extracurricular always. I was playing outside, cricket, football, badminton, something or the other all the time.
Always.
Yeah. Karate, I used to do a lot of.
Oh my God. That's great.
Yeah. So my mother, you have to credit her. She would push me into everything.
Fantastic. Now, your family. Now, going back to your family now. Family has been one of the founding members of Bhubaneswar.
Yes.
Do you have any tales and what the family has seen, what they have gone through? Something that people who are watching right now should know and might not know?
Well, my grandfather, I was very young when he passed away. But the stories are here, from him building the first tar road or with technology that was not there in Odisha, to the building the Paradip port, to the secretariat, to the Hirakud Dam, I have vivid memories. I have memories of me in those camps, but small things. I remember walking in Paradip with my grandfather, and उस वक्त बड़े trucks आते जाते थे road पे, and I remember my grandfather taking me to the opposite side of the road and saying, "Beta, walk on this side so that you can see what's coming towards you, just in case you need to." Right? And it's a life lesson. So, if you talk about, he was a great man. I remember there was once a big political issue, which I don't want to get into, but the staff of our office walked him back home, right? So I'm saying this city has been really close to our family. I feel I've grown up doing all my badmashi here. And, from being the founding member of the Gurdwara here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. We've grown up making chapatis on Sundays. That was a rule in our family for all my life. And, that I think Orissa is ingrained in our system. If somebody asks me where I'm from, I say Odisha. He said, a lot of people say, you don't look like an Odia. But I said, I am an Odia in my heart. I might be born to a Punjabi family.
It's true.
Yeah.
You don't look like Odia, but I do feel like one.
Yeah.
That's how it is. Now, there's something interesting I want to know from you. Right? uh, your earliest recollection or your earliest memory of Odisha. Let me
Wow.
give you my earliest memory so that you can get an idea what I'm trying to say. Doesn't have to be exactly that way, but my earliest would be the super cyclone. My earliest was super cyclone. So if you ask this question to me, I would have sent the super cyclone and then I would proceed what I saw, what I felt like, how I went with my father in the scooter, peeping out what I have seen. So what will be your earliest memory of Odisha, Bhubaneswar, of this land?
Well, in fact, you talk about the super cyclone. My mother was the president of Nehru Youth Association,
Oh,
which was quite a significant young youth association of that 90s. I remember भुवनेश्वर क्लब के आगे वो लायंस पार्क होता था,
okay.
उनकी ऑफिस वहाँ होती थी. And I stayed in the super cyclone area for a month with her, doing work. And I remember we facilitated 100 trucks of food and 100 odd trucks of food and clothes and things to come from Punjab that we distributed. And my mother was a big social worker. She stayed in Kendrapada. There was a school, नाम नहीं याद आ रहा. उस स्कूल में उनको कैंप दिया गया था नेहरू क्लब वालों को. And she stayed there for a month. I stayed with her. And we did whatever, social work. Super cyclone.
Super cyclone, super cyclone. It was scary times though.
Yeah, very scary.
It stayed for too long. The impact.
Yeah, but I think we dealt with it very well.
Back then, completely unprepared, but yet
Yeah.
the state
I was
survived.
a child. I have little memories here and there, but okay. So, what is my fun memory?
Fun. We can dwell on that one, yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. I think I'm a water baby, so my best memories, multiple of them are staying at a hotel that you all might know called Z Hotel. I think I have spent a large part of my childhood eating stroganoff and staying in that heritage at that hotel in Puri. The beach was my favorite, so we stayed there. I remember Pink House was a little shack. Xanadu actually was the first, before Pink House and all that. That we would go to for. And Odisha में वैसे ज़्यादा कुछ था नहीं, but that was the place that the foreigners would come.
Okay.
So they had learnt the pastas and the cutlets and the steaks. Punjabis are foodies, and
That's true.
so a lot of my memories are attached to food. And so my earliest memories are all around, I think, the beach and Puri and the water and the swimming and the little lifeguards with those hats with
Conical ones.
numbers on them. The amazing brunch at BNR Hotel. It might be before your time.
I've seen some.
And and it would come with this Himalayan ice cream, in which they had the big ice block carved and a light inside it with ice cream on it.
It's like fairy tale stuff, right?
Yeah, amazing. Was BNR Hotel was one of the. It was old world charm. Big bay windows. I haven't been there for a really long time. But they used to have this lunch that I used to tell my father, no matter what, we're having one lunch there. The fish orly and the roast chicken and the white glove service, and So those are my memories. Yeah, the stand-up tubs. I remember they had these old brass stand-up tubs that I would spend half my day in. So those are the memories, but great memories of Orissapost, I tell you. And we are lucky to have grown up in Orissa. Because we grew up in Orissa, we were so much in touch with nature. I don't think this the same upbringing. I mean, I'm not generalizing it, but it's very different growing up in a big city. It's very different growing up in a place like Orissa. I mean, for us, outing was going for a picnic, going to the forest, getting into Chandaka, going to the beach. That was outing. It was there was no pub,
Nature was there.
restaurant. My favorite restaurant was opposite the something called the Highway Dhaba, opposite the petrol pump on Cuttack Bhubaneswar Road.
Oh,
Or I would go to Otol Dhaba and have caramel custard.
Arey wah.
Did you know he was known for his caramel custard?
I-
Can you imagine 30 years back,
30 years back.
a dhaba making caramel custard? These are the memories of Orissa for me.
You're a foodie then, right?
Totally. Look it.
So now you have said about these things from your memory, from the past. How do you see Odisha or Bhubaneswar turning out to be?
Well, listen,
Future.
it's one of the nicer cities to live in the country. I think after COVID, I think COVID. It was sad. It was difficult. It was really difficult for a lot of people. But I think if you were to find the silver lining, it's left the world a better place that it came into. Because it has at least made us conscious about what we have, what we don't have, what we need, what we should, what we do. We appreciate what we have a lot more. At least I do, and my children do. And listen, I spent 1 year in a compound with my children in the bubble, as we used to call it. I couldn't have asked for more with the kids. That 1 year was one of that much. हम लोग इतना time we don't end up spending with our kids. But anyways, coming back to, I think to your question, I think people are now wanting a better quality of life versus like I said, it's the priorities have changed.
Yes.
And Bhubaneswar, in my opinion, is one of the few cities in the country that has a good blend of small town and big city, and seems to be growing. Good roads, excellent infrastructure. The last regime and the new regime, it's clean roads, excellent greenery. These are the little few things that you want in a city, right? Listen, I can leave Delhi in a heartbeat. Unfortunately, we're not too much there, but and it's going to take some time. But I would live in Bhubaneswar and get out for the summer. But I would live in
Understandable.
Bhubaneswar. Yeah,
The summers.
it's crazy, boss.
My favorite was summer vacations and the summer. And I believe, just correct me if I'm wrong, the summers have got bad with time. Summers not was that bad back then. Don't you think that?
Yeah, I think we have lesser Sahan Shakti now. Right?
That can be a point. Yes, I never thought from that perspective.
It's conditioning here. We have lesser threshold of tolerance now, but it's warmer also. I'm just saying it's not hell and heaven difference, but and summer vacations were probably great because you Bengalis are travelers, by the way. And we would travel. Right? But it's a great place to stay, I think. And I think going forward, with connectivity, flights, Bhubaneswar is well connected now. More and more people would live in places like these. And I think there is enough being done by the government also to encourage a good quality of life. At least it was happening over the, and even the last few terms of Naveen Patnaik, he was a well-traveled, educated politician. So he also brought a lot of his learnings. It's a nice place to stay. I don't, and I think it's only going to get better.
Yes. Now only one thing that has been going in my mind now before I move on to that, to the audience, this podcast interview, this conversation is taking place in his home, in where he stays. So if I have the liberty to share some of the facts without compromising the security of the house, is that when we came up, we saw multiple paintings. If you focus right behind me, is it M.F. Hussain?
Yeah.
It's an M.F. Hussain behind me. Two horses over there. For people who love art, this question's for you. What's with art and you?
Yeah, I don't
Hussain
know.
right behind me.
I don't
If you
know.
could see that.
It's gone from a passion to a problem. I'm enjoying it too much. So, but art has. I've loved art for a while. I enjoy art. I think I can't talk about it as in the sense I don't know technical strokes, this, that,
It's all right.
science.
Art is what a person perceives.
But
That's
it's
perfectly fine.
it talks to me, so I enjoy art. And I enjoy art. My wife enjoys art. I wish she didn't, because then it wouldn't be a problem. Now that we all enjoy it, it's become a big problem.
Now, if it's fine by you, the painting right behind me, what emotion, what call did it bring?
Yeah, but like I said, it's not. I am not the art. I don't think I can sit and talk about it. It's like wine. If you enjoy drinking wine, you like it, don't like it. But the horses and the bulls, as you see on the other side, these I love. These are the two animals I really love, and I think I love the horses for its character. The bull. I'm a Taurian, so I'm a bull. I think I enjoy just. It's all of it put together, art, culture, the animal, what it stands for, the colors. Art is actually, art changes the energy of a room.
I like to do that one, yep.
Yeah, and I'm enjoying it. I don't know if I can sit and talk about it. And there are a lot of people who can do it. I can't. I like it or don't like it. Simple.
Either here or there. If it's here, it's over here.
Yeah. Listen, and if I like it, then I'm edgy. I want to have it.
Now, as long as you're talking about you want to have it, which is the most prized possession, the most, the art that's most, I hope I'm using the right terms, the costliest one. Not on the perspective of money, not monetarily costly.
Valuable.
Something valuable. The exact word is the most valuable art. Could be the most valuable monetarily, but emotionally also.
2021, just after COVID. In the COVID time, my kids started painting. And my younger one, my older one would play cricket. And my younger one took to art. And I told my son, he wanted to buy a phone, I remember. So I told my son that you paint, I will give you my space. At Circle, we promote art also.
Okay.
Circle is our incubator, co-working space. We promote art. So I said, I'll do a show for you, an art exhibition that you can sell. And so the older brother was, the CFO, the CEO, and the younger one was painting, and they did an exhibition. They sold art, and he collected about 2/3 of the money to buy his phone through selling art.
Wow.
And I then bought the rest of his art for the other 1/3.
Yes.
And those might be my prized possession. There's some of them in this house. My father's put a couple of them, and then I gifted it to my family. So
Nice.
both my sons, with their first endeavor in business together,
Together.
in art, would be my most valuable possessions.
Mind,
Yeah.
mind blowing.
Yeah.
And you cannot put a price tag on that.
You can't put a
Not
price tag.
the whole world's money will
What
fall short.
it's all value is what money can't buy. Yeah.
Exactly. My God.
Yeah, listen, I play a lot of sport. For me, going to a gym is for cardio is good. I do it, but I find it boring. So I've always was just taken to golf. Just started learning golf. It's been 2 months. I've been training for golf. In fact, Hunch is doing a very significant golf event
Okay.
in the US. It's going to be called, or rather, I might as well hold on to that. But it's a very significant golf tournament being done in the US with a lot of significant people playing that we have initiated. That actually started off as a sporting, as since we are getting into sports, and it's now one thing led to the other and becoming a bit of a Indo-US kind of event. So golf is something that I'm spending a lot of time, and then that's why I'm frantically trying to learn my ek aadh shot to marna padega na. And I spend a lot of time sports, play golf. I enjoy, and I don't want to would not like to sound but there's a lot of work that my children and I enjoy doing with one or two of these NGOs that we work with in Delhi. Spend a lot of time, not enough. It should be a lot more. But our regular days are spending a lot of time with the family. I love my friends. If I'm in Odisha, when I'm especially in Barbil, where my work is, we have a badminton court in the house. It's a nice, fancy. I put rubber now court. We are serious players.
Okay.
So Sham ko sare every day if I'm in town, every day by 8-9 o'clock, there are 10 people there. My childhood friends,
Already.
other people there, their friends who play badminton there. It's a serious game. There's fights going on there. But we are outdoors. We are outdoors kind of people. So me and my family, we end up spending most of our time picnics, sports. My son plays cricket. My younger one, in fact, played in the Delhi Premier League now for the Chennai Super Kings. Older one, I told you, played under 16. So we are all outdoors people. So that's being outdoors, doing activities, art. Music is my real passion. Over and even a lot more than art is music.
What kind of music you like though?
I actually enjoy I enjoy music. I end up listening to a lot of jazz nowadays or Sufi in the Alab ghazals. So this is actually my favorite pastime might be music. Listening to music or bringing in somebody live and listening to them sing.
Beautiful. What a
Favorite pastime that.
favorite pastime.
Yes.
I'll just be bit. The next question I won't explain much. I'll just give you a sentence, and you have to complete it. What keeps you up at night?
What this is going to do to the world. If at all, I have young children, and I see children, and what keeps me up is sometimes I feel there's too much information and too less processing power in the world.
Before you guys, if you cannot see this, he's pointing towards a smartphone.
Yeah.
if it's not visible over here. So
It's just too
smartphone,
much information, too less
Too much.
processing power. So I just hope that. But listen, we have a way of making things work. It just might be a different world. So if at all something worries me every now and then is my children. I want to give them the best I can, and it doesn't keep me awake. I mean, I just might not. I don't want to sound like that, but I want to make
Metaphorically.
good individuals out of them.
now this was what's the stress part. What is the biggest stress buster?
Music,
Music?
yeah,
Always.
always.
Always. So it's gonna be art one way or the other. Or sports.
Yeah, forms of art.
Forms of art and sports.
In fact, me and my wife have started a foundation, and we invest into music and arts, but not invest as in buying art. We promote artists. I don't know. You should go and see the mural that we put in the Rambha Palace out of a new artist who we thought was he was a 20-year-old kid doing surrealism, and we wanted him to do something that reflects Orissa, right? So he has created a mural. It's so big that he needed to paint it in 8 different canvases and join them together. Took him a year painting. This is all he did for 1 year, and it's the whole history of Orissa, right from the Kalinga War to mythology there, to the Sun Temple, to the Jagannath Temple, to all the wars, and you have to see it to believe it. A whole mural that he's made. I'm forgetting how we started this, but yes, we started this about what gives me pleasure and what we spend time in. I think what I want to do is promote arts, especially music.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Now, we are coming to an end of our beautiful conversation that's going on. And every good thing comes to an end anyway, one way or the other. So, we're going to have a rapid fire round.
Oh hell!
I'm just going to...
Is there a hamper? I should-
Hamper, yes. The guys are... We need to have hamper next time. Like, rapid fire. We should have hampers.
I should have that
I'm
button.
noting it down.
I
We
should
need
have a
hampers.
button that goes ting every time I don't.
Yes. It might gonna look very unnatural, but this is how we do it. But this life is gonna help us. So, rugby or business?
Business.
Business. Odisha in one word.
Home.
Home. Favorite movie?
Too many. Center for Women. Godfather. As good as it gets.
I will take Godfather
But
as one.
I'm a classic movie kind of guy.
Godfather is my favorite too.
Oh, nice. Of course.
Which one is your favorite out of the 3?
Yeah, actually, I'm a very bad question to ask me. I can't choose. Sorry.
Fine, I'm moving to the next one.
Now that you're not giving me a hamper,
You have our best wishes as hampers.
Thank
if
you.
that works.
Thank you.
Now, favorite musician?
Oh Lord, that's again a very difficult one. Too
Somebody
many.
in jazz.
Buddy Guy.
Buddy guy. Okay.
Nusrat.
Okay.
Jagjit.
Chanjit is like
Kishore.
Kishore.
Ah,
Everyone's first love.
too many.
Too many, right?
I can't choose a favorite song. I can't choose a favorite artist, singer. No, just music is my favorite.
Music is favorite. Okay. Your favorite holiday destination?
Oh Lord. Oh, Italy. I think I'm Italians and the Punjabis of Europe.
Wait a second. I will talk on that on though. Your comfort food?
Home food.
Home food, right? A dish from Odisha that you like?
Pakhar bhata.
Pakhad bhata, right?
And manso jholo.
Mangso jhoda kosa?
Kossa nahi. Patra jholo.
Patla jhoda. That's lovely.
Punjabi mein it's called lambi tarika mutton.
Lambi tarika mutton.
But they don't do it half as good as the Odiyas do it. That we in Orissa do it, yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic.
There used to be a road, there used to be a, नाम नहीं आ रहा, भाईना होटल. Back in the day, कॉलेज से हम जाते थे वहाँ, एक तो भाईना होटल होता था, एक बीजेपी कॉलेज के आगे कोर्ट के अंदर में एक दुकान होता था. These were the two mutton places to go to.
Back then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
मुंह में पानी आ रहा है बोलते हुए.
That brings some like, actual memories.
Yeah, I don't remember
Body
where
reacts
I've
to that.
eaten in the last few days, but college वाले याद है.
Yes. Now, one rule in life you live by. If I just ask you, give me one
Integrity.
rule. Huh? Integrity, always. Good. Now we'll go back to food for a while. Rasgulla or chena poda or something else?
Sweets, man. Mangoes.
Mangoes. Fine. Okay. After having this conversation, I don't know how this question popped up, but we know that you're into sports. Your fitness secret.
It's a
You're
secret,
into
obviously.
sports. Man. You've been very much into sports.
Yeah, but you know, I tell you, it's not how you look, it's how you feel, right? Everybody must do something every day, right? And I think keeping your muscles active, keeping on building on them, as you get older, you lose muscle. And that to me is the biggest reason why people get weak, you get hurt, you fall. So in my opinion, eat right, don't follow me, and do something, some activity every day.
Fantastic. At last. Describe Kalinga Black Tigers in one word.
The Paikas.
The
Paikas.
Paikas. The Paikas. Lovely. But now, there are certain answers that you said. Italians are the Punjabis of Europe.
Yeah.
What brought you to that conclusion? Like suddenly.
Yeah, I think it's one of the most beautiful countries. And culturally, they are about family. They are about food. They are about music. Wine is one of my favorite parts. It's just, if you ask me about that one place in the world that I would like to spend a lot of time in, Italy. But I cannot live anywhere outside India.
But this is Italy part, Godfather is related somehow.
Actually, maybe. Frank Sinatra, in fact, is one of the singers, one of my favorites. I think Italian culture by itself is something that I enjoy.
What do you think? The way they talk.
That's the way it is. I love that.
Their body speaks with them.
Yeah,
it's lovely.
French are so different. Right next door. Italians are the real me. I was Italian in my last life.
Oh God, that's fantastic. And the thing that you said about Kalinga Black Tigers, that's in one word, Paika. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful that you chose a word that everyone should know about.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
absolutely. We should.
Paika is a word one should never ever.
That's our pride, boss.
Yeah.
And it's not about the warrior. It should signify something. Yeah. That's what is more important.
Fantastic, man. It was absolutely brilliant.
My pleasure.
Lovely.
My pleasure too.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure too. But
I hope you edit the parts that you should.
Anyway, we have come to the end of this beautiful podcast, interview, conversation, knowing each other with Mr. Karanpal Singh, a founder by heart, a person with sports in his DNA, foodie, well, just like us, and art in heart. A man who has got vision to bring a new change, a new wave of sports. Well, I can call him a game changer by bringing rugby to India. And then, not only that, he's bringing a rugby club to Orissa, our own first rugby club, Kalinga Black Tigers. That was, folks, a conversation with a great person, a beautiful person with lovely personality filled with life. For more such contents and more such podcasts and more such great conversations, stay tuned to Orissapost Live. Till then, I'm Saurav Sanyal.